And here we are.
Hello.
Hello.
And welcome to the Do Not Scratch Your Eyes podcast. Please do like, comment, and subscribe. My name is Justin.
I'm Carl.
And Peter.
And we're playing Millwall on Monday, are we not? Millwall.
Yeah.
Happy memories of Millwall, Carlos? Not so happy memories?
Any
memories at all, or have they been knocked out by the coma? I mean...
Oh, that's it. Straight away. There you go. Attack. Straight in with the attack. No, yeah, not personally many fond memories of Millwall, but I was there for the 6-0. That was a good day.
Oh, that was 15 years ago.
Yes,
I saw a video come up today.
Long time.
That does seem like yesterday, but also 15 years ago. It's very strange, isn't it? Yes.
Anyway, they did put that out. I mean, as is always sort of tempting, kind of, oh, look, we came and gubbed them 6-0. Never quite happens materially when you do that to people. The Leicester game, the year after the Do Not Scratch Your Eyes game, flies to mind. Never mind. I just thought we'd touch on a couple of bits. If anybody's not been looking at the Watford Observer, Adam Drury had a couple of pieces out today, which kind of were interesting in social media circles. One was about Imran Louza, and it talked about him telling the hierarchy that he wanted to play at the highest level, but he's decided to stay because of the club's ambition and all sorts of positive things. But one of the things, and I thought why we'd go on here, was he talked about that Milwall game, that injury, and where he was. And he said, everyone knows I've had major injuries. It's taken a lot of time to come back to my best and to feel full of confidence. The injury at Millwall was big. It was very difficult for me to deal with. It was very, very dark time for him. A black time, as he describes it. I knew then I had to be strong and to work it out, but unfortunately it was a long process. He said, I still always think about that game. I mean, you can imagine it. Anybody who's had an injury knows that those kind of things go round in your head. It's not easy to talk about because I also missed the World Cup, which obviously must have made it harder. But now he feels it's behind him. So this is nice. He says, I now feel it's behind me. There you go. As if to prove my point entirely. He said it exactly. It's better that you take that long time back and get back to your best, which is where he feels is now. Excellent. So, I mean, he has been fantastic since he's come out. Obviously, he got that, he was out for those 3 games. And I think we suffered. I described him as like the oil in the engine. And without that, we don't really flow. You can say what you like about Musa Sissoko at this point, really. All opportunities and all statistics are there for people to see. But Carlos, what have you thought about the team this season with and then without Louza so far, and how much are you looking forward to him hopefully having a slightly less injury problem at Millwall?
Yeah, night and day, hasn't it? With him back in and playing at his best in that midfield, and exactly what you said. He's completely the engine in that midfield. Musa, look, it's Musa Sissoko. On paper he's done many great things. Unfortunately, not in a Watford shirt. So, look, having Imran back is massive for us, and we're really going to need him this season to stay fit and to be at the top of his game. If we are to do as the owners have asked us to do, which is be in the promotion mix, and at the moment it don't feel that way, does it? So I'm looking forward to having him back for the Millwall game. I know it's early, but I think it's a really, really big game and an important game as well.
And sorry, I didn't ask you there, Justin, but obviously when it comes to injuries and Millwall, I mean, Carl is basically the aficionado.
I'm the expert. Yes.
You know what you speak. Instead, what I'll do is I'll ask Justin about obviously one of his many favoured managers. Walter Matsari came out and in presumably the Italian press was describing his time at Watford as exceptional. My experience at Watford, especially looking back, i.e. not at the time.
Not at the time.
Was exceptional because we finished 17th in the standings.
That's exceptional by anyone's yardstick. 17th.
Yeah, we secured safety well in advance with 6 games still to play. Does anybody remember how those last 6 games turned out? Okay.
If we hadn't beaten Arsenal, there's a good chance we would have gone down that season. It was the Arsenal win was his last win, wasn't it?
Oh, crikey, there weren't many in there. But
in late January, early February.
Yeah, it was after the Millwall game that we went out in the FA Cup. Then we had the following week or whatever was the Arsenal game.
So that was the day before Graham Taylor's funeral, wasn't it? Was that Eunice Ball's free kick? And
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, but in fairness, he had a fine tradition of us falling off a cliff results-wise come January onwards. What else did he say? We secured safety well in advance, 6 games to go. He likes to point this out, by the way. Already had 40 points, so the players who were not used to fighting for certain objectives eased off a little. A little? A little? A little?
They were on the beach.
I mean, in fairness, 3 of them were off with, like, ombre solaire poisoning. That was probably the main problem. We saved ourselves, I repeat, with 6 games left. You do repeat. Already 40 points. Really? 40 points, you say? You should have mentioned it earlier. It was certainly one of the best years in the club's history. And looking back today, one of the best in my career, he says. Now, what I think is great is when somebody comes out and says that. And obviously, a lot of people have looked on it and gone, well, actually, he's not lying. He did do well until the 6 games. He did that. And he's looking back on it with the joy. He wasn't quite so generous back then. This is what he said in The Independent. This club doesn't have the same ambitions, the same mentality as the previous clubs I've met. I tried to ingrain them with a winning mentality here, but between the injuries and the difficulty at the end of the season, it hasn't been possible.
A little bit of rosy tinted glass looking back there, I suspect, on Matsari.
Just a tad. Never mind. Well, we are indeed coming to Monday, so we're going to have a weekend without sort of football. Everybody's going to be having to improvise what to do on Saturday afternoons. No idea yet, but we will see. However, Monday night we travel down to the Den. Hopefully, injuries not affecting Imran Louza. Hopefully, death not affecting Carl. I mean, because we've had enough of those near-death ones.
Yeah.
So let's get to having our chat with a lovely guy, Chris Chapman from Chat with Chaps, where we went in and we started it as if we were on a podcast. Yes, we are that bad. It is. Oh, sod it. Just have a look.
To the Do Not Scratch Your Eyes podcast. I'm Justin.
I'm back. I'm Carl.
I'm Peter.
And joining us for our Millwall opposition view, Chat with Chaps. How fantastic. Lovely to have you back on. How are you?
I'm good, thanks, mate. And thank you for that wonderful graphic. That was a surprise. Yeah, how are you, chaps?
There's no amount of imagery that we haven't stolen from the internet. Why do you think yours are special? Anyway, there we go. So yes, we've got Millwall coming as we speak. Chris is girding his loins, for loins are needing to be girded prior to a Millwall versus Crystal Palace Cup match tomorrow night. So we'll see, and we'll get on and discuss all things about that. But we need to get on and talk a bit about Millwall. Let's do the opposition view bit, and then we'll start fucking about per normal. You know, the kind of thing. Now, we've just been on Chris's, let me put it up there. Chat with Chaps. See what I've done. See what I've done there. Throwing in the subliminal.
How many times are you going to do that, do you reckon, brother?
More than is probably healthy, but never mind. We were having a chat and we got on to talking about the Gaffers. We got to talking about Paolo Pezzolano. I think it's fair to say that our particular jury is out on that particular one, but we also started talking about Mr. Alex Neil, the gaffer down at your place, appointed at literally the back end of last year. 33 games he's had in charge, and he would have a 1.7 points per game average, which is pretty damn good, actually, I have to say. He's won 17, drawn 5, lost 13. However, the good news, Watford fans, is his head-to-head record, his own individual one against Watford, is he's lost 5, but he's won 4 of the 9. So, maybe we have something a little bit about him. How is everybody feeling about Mr. Alex Neil from last season into this season? And then we'll have a look at your arrivals and departures.
Yeah, I think Alex Neil, he's got his own song now. So that's usually the stamp of approval from Millwall fans. Yeah. And we are the most creative bunch. So our song is Alex Neil, Alex Neil, Alex Neil. He's got no hair, but we don't care. Alex Neil. That is our song for Alex Neil, which we sing to anyone who's bored. No, but he's the fans are definitely behind him for sure. Obviously, you showed record there, and he did wonders towards the back end of last season. And for a split second, the away day at Burnley last season when we went 1-0 up, we were in the playoffs for a very small period of time. But this season, it's not started the best. I think. All right, we've got 7 points. We've won 2 games, but we've got an unhealthy habit of losing our home games. And I would say, as each game's gone by, our performances have got worse and worse and worse. sort of culminating in a very, very lucky and scrappy 1-1 draw at our dear friends Charlton on Saturday. So I don't know. We're certainly not going into the game against Palace tomorrow or the game against you guys next week with much confidence, if I'm being honest.
Well, we'll see. Let's get on to these arrivals, because as we always do with the early season sort of stuff, and we haven't hit the second international break or the second football manager, as we normally say at Watford, for that particular period. So let's have a look at some of your arrivals. One name, always I say, because I saw him play once against Watford really well, so I keep going on about him, Josh Coburn. Was that the fee you paid? Because let's face it, this is coming from Transfermarkt, and they're very, very rarely correct. But you seem to have paid money for him, I presume. How is he doing individually? And Caleb Taylor, I thought that was a great signing because he's the right age, and I thought he was the right sort of. Don't take this the wrong way. I thought he was the right sort of type for Millwall. I thought he would do okay. How has he done so?
So let's start with Josh. So I don't know the exact fee, but I do believe it is a fee rising to £5 million, which is probably the euro equivalent of what you showed on screen.
Yeah.
I think he's got a lot of potential. He's got a lot of the right attributes to be a good player at this level and a good player for us. He hasn't really shown any of it this season. He's been really poor. But both centre forwards have. I'm not just criticising Josh. I think Mihailo Ivanovic, who we can talk about later, has been equally as poor. Neither of them have done anything all season. So hard for me to sit here and say it's good value for money at the minute. But he is young and he does have championship experience, and maybe that's the going rate. Charlton paid £3.5 million for Charlie Kelman. So maybe it's the going rate. In terms of some of the other signings, so who was the other one? Caleb Taylor, sorry. It's an interesting point of view, and I think in isolation of some of our successful recruitment has been buying the best players from League One, and he certainly fits that mold. However, he's replacing Japhet Tanganga, who is an absolute Rolls Royce of a centre back at this level, and I don't think that is a like-for-like replacement in any way, shape or form yet. I'm not saying Caleb can't be great, but we haven't really seen him. He come on for like 15 minutes against Wrexham so that we've got this interesting dynamic that we signed a centre-back that, because we had no right-back, started playing right-back, and he did so well that he's now our number one right-back, even though he's a centre-back. And then recently, because we haven't had another centre-back because Tanganga left, he's been playing centre-back again. But I think it's just a matter of time before he moves back to right-back and Taylor starts in the middle. And I would expect that to happen against you on Monday. So I don't know, I guess, about Caleb Taylor, but you're right to say he does look like a Millwall centre-half. Challenge is, he looks very similar to Jake Cooper. And having both of them in the same team, meat and drink if you pump the ball up to them, but there's not a lot of teams that do that anymore. So yeah.
I mean, you mentioned that, and obviously over Chris's right shoulder, for anybody who's listening, is a Japhet Tanganga shirt framed up there. You quite rightly say, I think, a Rolls Royce of a player. He was at Tottenham. Did he play for a bit at AC Milan? And then when he came to you guys, everyone went, "What a signing!" And then you got him permanently. Was it always that he was likely to move, or is there any reason behind his moving on from the Den?
Yeah, it was always going to happen. We expected it to be to a Premier League club, not to a Championship rival. He had a release fee of 1.2 million to a Premier League club, which is basically his salary for a year, I think, there or thereabouts. So it was basically, I'll sign for you, but if a Premier League club comes in, I don't want to be blocked from doing that. And of course, not ideal, but you're going to do it, right? You're going to sign him, you'll take that. So in theory, getting a fee with lots of different triggers being hit, including promotion, which doesn't look very likely for Sheffield United at the minute, fee rising potentially up to £10 million was tremendous business from the club to do that. Of course, sour for us, but then that's where I say Caleb Taylor is not just a like-for-like replacement. Tanganga is excellent, and even the Sheffield United fans are basically, if you look at their post-match they're all saying there's only one player that's come out with any credit in the last few games, and it's been Tanganga. So,
oh wow. Well, some departures there. George Saville has gone to Luton, so tough shit, basically. Sorry, nothing good to say there. George Honeyman, I always liked George Honeyman, and I was surprised that he's gone to Blackpool. I'm surprised nobody else in the Championship has given him a run, but you could tell me whether that's good or not. And of course, there at the bottom, Tanganga, Aaron Connolly going off to Leyton Orient as well. He was one who everybody thought might fire, but never seemingly did.
No, I mean, he had a few decent glimpses, but I just don't think he can keep himself fit. I think he's got off the field issues, and I think that shows in his ability to keep himself fit. So it's a shame because he's got a lot of technical ability, but he moved on. But in terms of the outgoings, I think I'm okay with all of them moving on. It's just we've lost so much experience in that list there. You've got Sean Hutchinson, who was club captain, didn't play much, but a huge figure at the club. Murray Wallace, Duncan Watmore, George Honeyman, George Saville, who was our vice captain, on the field vice captain, that is. There's just so much Millwall experience and Championship experience that we've lost. And yes, we brought the average age of the squad down and we've got all these new players, but I think we've maybe rotated too much, and I would have kept either Saville or Honeyman. And I think for someone like Honeyman, though, by the way, to your point around Blackpool, if you're 30, 31 and someone offers you a 3-year deal and, you're back home, it makes a lot of sense, right?
Yeah. Very strange. Yeah, but I still think he's, I don't know. I always thought he was quite a tidy player with a lot of potential when he was young and breaking through at Sunderland. Did well. I thought Hull was an odd one, but when he went to you, I went, I can see that, but never mind. Let's have a look.
How's the lad done that you brought in from Southampton? Looks like Voldemort. What's his name?
Smallbone. Smallbone's injured.
That's him. Is he injured,
mate? Wouldn't know. Oh, we have a habit of signing players that are injured. So
Harry Potter caught up with him then. Oh dear.
Yeah, but he doesn't look like Voldemort anymore because he has hair.
You're kidding.
Smallbone. Where's that come from?
Full head of hair, mate.
Is it just syrup?
Wilson. No. It's obviously a
Is that the old
or whatever. But yeah, just put Will Smallbone Millwall into Google.
Have you had to change his chant then from "He's got no hair, we don't care"? You've had to change that one, have you? He's now got hair. We still don't care,
and we really care. No, I don't know. He's not played, so there's no chant yet. I mean, you've got to impress the Millwall fans for at least 20 games before you get a chance.
He looks unrecognisable.
Yeah.
There you go. You sing about a parting of the ways with Tanganga and a parting of the hair with Smallbone. Can't be bad. Let's have a look at some of the results that you mentioned earlier on. A decent result against Norwich. A good cup run, including Coventry in there. Middlesbrough, that's an odd one, and Rob Edwards still can't quite square that circle. How that's going at the moment. Where in terms of the results and everything that's going on, how is everybody feeling about the team? What kind of atmosphere are we going to see from the faithful at the Den?
Not a happy one. So I think prior to the Wrexham game, we were okay. I know there was a 3-0 drubbing from Middlesbrough in there, but it's not a fair reflection of the game. We dominated the first half. We just couldn't score. And then the second half, they got a goal and then we pushed forward and they scored 2 in the last 6 minutes where we were pushing forward. So it's not, they deserve to win, by the way. I just want to be really clear. And they looked like a very good side, but you could kind of deal with that. And we'd gone through in the cup and we'd won 2 games away and all that. So it was okay. But against Wrexham, we were really poor. Really, really, really poor. And I don't think Wrexham were that good, to be totally honest. I don't. I just think they were better than us. And then against Charlton, in the first half, we were so un-Millwall-like. We lost all of our personal battles. We lost every 50-50. They were and you expect that from a Nathan Jones team. Don't get me wrong. But my problem is you should expect that from a Millwall team. And we didn't give that. And we had 2 weeks to prepare for it. So that was really poor. We managed to claw it back. So maybe now there's this kind of, a little bit more renewed optimism, but it's papering over the cracks. And it was a really, really poor performance again against a side that I don't think are that good. I just think they're very industrious and work very hard. So it's a nervy one. And if we don't get the first goal against you, it's going to get even more, because the first goal, we say it in every game, and Carl, obviously you said it on the other show, this game in particular, with two sides that have had iffy starts, that have got lots of, a lack of experience throughout the team, injuries to vital players, obviously Chat for Dadsy for you, and we've got a laundry list. I think the first goal is going to be crucial.
Well, there we go.
Yeah,
there we go as a start. There we are. As a start. Now, I do think we need to discuss Will Smallbone. I mean, if anybody's seen him at Stoke or at Southampton,
there he is, old Voldemort.
Very, very much the Gail Porter of the Southampton dressing room.
There we go. That's us banned. There we are. It was lovely. It was lovely why it went on. Look at
now though, look at this. I mean, who knows where this could be in several weeks? He's injured, but never mind.
He's had a turkey transplant, isn't he? That's what's going on there. He pops over to Turkey, he's had a transplant, and he's back.
That's not bad. That's not bad at all. Well, what are we kind of thinking about? The comments from. I always look at Alex Scott as one of those managers who's going to be problematic. He's one of those who you look at our performance last week, or our lack of performance last week, and you do think if that was being done with the Millwall team, there would be blood being let, and it wouldn't be the supporters, it would be and our guys do seem to, okay, we know we're kind of a relaxed, easygoing club and team, but you can't get away with that sort of performance, really. Surely the team need to put it in, otherwise if they go to Millwall and give the same very, very lackadaisical performance, really, we hope obviously having Louza back we'll see a little bit more, but what do we hope to see at the Den from Watford more than anybody else?
Massive improvement is what we're going to need. Otherwise there'll be people home before the game ends, like Cole did that time when we were 3-0 down at half time. It needs to be a massive improvement. I thought that game was absolutely appalling against Blackburn. I thought it was dreadful. We're at home. Yes, we're missing Louza, but come on, we're missing one player. I know he's messed about at the back a little bit, putting Matsari at the left, and some people thought that was good, some people didn't. But I just thought that was a really shocking display. And you do that at Millwall away, you're going to get spanked. They're not going to put up with Coles.
Yeah, look, I'm in complete agreement. I think there's a lot about the manager at the moment that worries me in terms of, does he know his best team? Does he know his best formation? Does he know what he had for dinner last night and all sorts? It's all a bit worrying. And look, I wish the guy all the best. I really do. And I'm not going up. I'm not putting up a flag to say get him out the door. All I'm saying is that there's so many inconsistencies at the moment in what we're seeing. Anybody that understands football, and believe me, I am no expert on formations and that side of it. That's you, Pete. But there's something not quite right here at the moment, and it needs to click, and very quickly. I personally think a bad result at Millwall, then we start looking at the games that we've had so far and the win percentage that we've had so far. And there's questions, and unfortunately, we still have a dark cloud hanging over us from earlier on in the season that a lot of people are going to get on the back of. You promised us promotion, or it's certainly fighting for it. Yeah. And after X amount of games, we know what this club are like before we go into an international break. We know what they do. That's what they do. So I just consistency is probably the quick answer for that. We need to be more consistent, and he needs to decide how he wants that team to play in every point. That the midfield needs Louza, no question, but defensively he hasn't got it quite right. Attacking the top of the field he hasn't got quite right either. So there's still a lot of work there, and we've had pre-season and we were playing in a certain way, and we just, was it Norwich? I think we just threw it out there.
Norwich, 20 minutes into Norwich.
Sod this, let's try something else.
Gut feeling. Do you think he'll be manager still at Christmas?
No.
No.
Gut feeling, no.
Really?
I don't. Yeah,
No.
I don't.
I mean, the way I look at it, and I appreciate that, you know, the whole point has been kind of made and reinforced that the word try or challenge for promotion has been made. And I accept that. That's absolutely reasonable. But the first things that were said after, and this was prior to Pezzolano's appointment, this was after Tom's dismissal 3 days in to the, you know, from the end of the season, and we don't need to go back to that again. However, the points that were made were, if Gino only judges managers by results, why should we judge Gino's appointment of managers in any other way than results? We have not got the results that have been stated thus far. But I think the problem is it starts to permeate the culture of the fans. It's only reasonable because you go, well, how long is he going to keep him? Is he going to keep him? I'd love to be, and I said this to Ron the other day on the Twitter Spaces, on the post-match phoning. I'd love not to be the club. I'd love to be the club whose culture is, no, we will support the manager and we'll try and, you know, everybody get behind him. But that's not the hierarchy of the club. That's not the culture. And culture permeates down from the top. And you cannot make the number of changes we've had without us looking at it and going, well, there's no way Gino can be happy with the results. You might love the guy, you might think he's excellent, but the inconsistency of the formation, the inconsistency of the performances, the lack of goal scoring threat. There was one shot on goal on Saturday, and the fact that, you know, Elton John is there as everybody is wearing his shirts on his day, looking at his stand, and he left with 10 minutes to go. I mean, yeah, that says a lot.
I mean, if you look at the games, so Charlton, I think we felt maybe a little bit hard done by that we hadn't concentrated right until the death, and we concede that stupid goal and we lose 1-0 at Charlton. The week after, everything's kind of forgiven, although in the interim we have lost in the League Cup to Norwich, but then we've beaten QPR. Swansea away, you know, typically quite difficult to get a result at Swansea. We're not famous for getting a result down at Swansea. The 2-2 draw against Southampton was thrilling, although it was still 1 point. I think the Blackburn game was an absolute shambles. So you could argue that really 3 of those games kind of went the way we thought they might go, and the ones that didn't are probably Charlton and Blackburn. So has he massively I mean, 5 points from 5 games, not good, right? Not good at all. Ideally we want 15. 10's better, 5's terrible. I mean, if he starts picking up points now, then maybe we might forget about these first 5 games, right? We might think, okay, 5 games, fine.
I think you still have to come back to the fact that there was about 22 minutes. The last 2 minutes of Charlton, we conceded the goal. The first 20 minutes against Norwich, these are only, 3 days apart. That seems to have had such a large psychological impact on Pezzolano, because he looked at it and went, Jesus, we cannot defend with 2 at the back with balls coming in wide. Because if you remember, we had the lad Pap Diallo from Norwich who put in 2 balls. And it was
a new one. Yeah.
And he must have looked at it and thought as structural at the time, because it wasn't personnel. Because you had Hector Cipriano playing there because of, you know, we hadn't got any centre backs, and he wanted to rest
pretty much that game, wasn't he?
Yeah. So he changed the shape. And don't get me wrong, I've not got a problem with somebody who's tactically adept and changing the shape. But if you look at our recruitment, we have recruited attacking wide players and centre forwards. And if you then go to a 3-5-2, you have got 8 players who are trying to win 2 positions effectively.
Yeah.
Because you've got 3 centre forwards and you've got about 5 different sort of wingers. And that's even before you get on to Chakfatadze, who could maybe play in deep midfield, but we wouldn't want him in there. So it looks like he feels that we're vulnerable when we play 4-2-3-1, which is the natural shape to accommodate the squad that he's built. But he wants to play with 3 at the back to make sure we are defensively solid. We tried to play 4-2-3-1 on Saturday. And it worked, you know, down the right-hand side. Bar was a bit better in the first half. And there's been a lot of discussion about Petrus and people quite liking having Ngakia behind him, because you don't want somebody to overlap, because no, leave Barr alone to isolate the defender and go one-on-one with him and go wide. However, in the second half, he pushed Barr to the left. And if you remember, the left back in that particular game was Matsari. And I think we all can see that he's coming on and he's good. And I thought he was, in terms of his distribution going forward, he was one of the better passers of the ball. But because he's a right back, he wasn't getting on and kind of overlapping in any way, shape or form. And because he's right-footed, we were constantly, he wanted to go inside. The fact that that nobody else could pass didn't help either. But it was a mess. It was just a mess, and he really needs to kind of really sort it out. So anyway,
we also need to score a goal from open play, because our last 2 goals have been free kicks from Imran Louza. We need to start trying to score some goals from open play a little bit.
Yeah, well, we need to, in order to do that, we need to get crosses in, because, I mean, if we go back to that Swansea, which was the first half and almost definitely the best football we've played in that 3-5-2 shape that we had, because Imran Louza looks irrepressible going through the middle. I mean, there's no doubt about it. And the fact that he wasn't there and the fact that Louza wasn't there has to give us a lot of optimism for when we play on Monday, that these 2 guys will be back. However, they've got to be back and firing, and everybody else has got to be on there, because this is Millwall. They're going to come at you, and they're not going to give you an easy night at the Den, because if their team gave you an easy night, their fans ain't going to give them an easy night. Right. Well, let's get on to the match day silliness, and a bit of a change this week. But as I say, let's see which way we go and see what you. I mean, let's face it, we are Spinal Tap. This is our new direction. Well, we'll get on to the predictions in a moment, but in the meantime, as of course, we're welcoming Carl back into the into things with a wonderful wall of memorabilia there. For those people who are hoping for Tenable, you have to wait until the second half of the season for the Millwall untenable, I have to say, because we're going to go with something new and fresh in order to throw Carl under a bus, which, as we know, after Millwall games has
actually happened.
Nothing to do with Millwall fans, which I have to say about that. Honestly, you've got to remember that whenever we play Millwall, basically life becomes like Final Destination for Carl. Death is coming just in many different ways.
Good to be back. Thank you.
Yeah, I think that's the level of empathy I think you were looking for. So here we go. It's time to share, and it's time to get on with a fresh game, with a new game. Let's see if I can get it in. Here we go. It's called Post with the Most. Oh, look at this.
I dread to think where this is going.
Now, Carl and Chris will be playing off against one another, if you'll excuse the phrase. Now, it's going to be in the form of a penalty shootout, nice and easy. We're going to go 5 for one side, 5 for another, and you have to get it past the horrible-looking goalkeeper, who, as you can see, is tainted with a touch of orange. Just had to put that in. 5 penalties each. Which team did the subject play for more? So I'm going to give you a player who has played for both Watford and Millwall, and you have to tell me which one has he played for more. If it's level after sudden death, we will play one more round, and then we would have to go nearest the pin. We're going to start with Chris. Chris, you are up for the first penalty, and the first player for everybody is Danny Shitu. Played for both Millwall, played at the Hornets, massive unit, obviously. I've got to ask you, Chris, are you going right? Are you going left with this penalty? Did he play more for Watford or more for Millwall?
Oh, that is really difficult.
Oh, you think that's difficult? You wait for the later rounds when we get really.
Yeah, I know. I do. I will go Watford.
And the answer is Millwall. Oh. He's missed, unfortunately. 81 appearances for down at the Den and 69 at Watford. These figures are, by the way, available on Wikipedia, therefore even less reliable than transfer market. We turn to Carl, who is confidently striding up to the penalty spot, but looking out for falling debris, as Final Destination would be. Darren Ward, centre back, Watford.
Yeah.
Who did he play more for? Did he play more for the Lions or for the Hornets?
It's got to be more for Millwall. It's got to be.
Yeah.
And it's true. It's by a long shot. Bit of a legend, surely, down at Millwall with 237 there.
Yeah, he is. Yeah. Rolls Royce of a defender. He really was very good.
I picked him up when he was pissed once in Lloyd's Bar. He's really heavy.
He hit the turning circle of the Titanic, that bloke. he just couldn't turn quick enough for me, Darren Ward. And this was in the Premier League, by the way. We were playing him.
He got a lot really quickly. It like all came to him at once at Watford. I just think it just I don't know. It didn't work out for him with us. Shame.
Fair enough. Though he had some competition that he couldn't quite get past. Went away. He had a fine career. I think personally, I was always he was always one I like the look of. Justin, you're really back in your normal position of scorekeeper. I didn't tell you. So what are the scores after round 1 due to your legendary lack of attention to detail?
Oh, well, I haven't been paying attention, Peter. But I think
it's 1-0 to Carl.
It's 1-0 to Carl, I think.
Oh, look at this team unity going on. Let's get across round 2. Let's get across to it. Chris Day. I did tell you we were going to kid.
That's a shitter, that one.
He was in the same team as Darren Ward.
Shut up, Justin. You keep blathering away. Don't do that, because I know what he's like. He gives people clues. He doesn't care which side. He just does it. So we turn to Chris. Your second penalty is a difficult one. More at the Den or more at Vicarage Road?
So he didn't play much for us either. He hardly played for us. I'm going to go Watford.
He goes for Watford.
I think that's a shout.
Oh, my God.
Look at that.
How comes I've got all the ones that are tight here? Come on, there's an inquest.
What can I say? Yeah, right. Okay, we come to Carlos. Darius Henderson, not quite wearing the kit, and Darius Henderson wearing the kit. Played for both sides.
He loved taking his top off, didn't he? Don't blame him, to be fair.
Carlos?
Do you know what? I'll go Watford on this as well.
It was. He had a good scoring record down at the Den, though. He got.
He did.
He was almost kind of, or even possibly above, kind of 1 and 2. He had a good
monster,
run,
wasn't he?
Justin, now back in and paying attention. What are the scores after round 2?
Well, I think it's 2-1 to Carl. That's what I'm going to say.
I like the lack of certainty in your voice there. That's good. That's good. Justin is very much the footballing equivalent of VAR in this entire scenario.
I was mesmerised by Darius's bleached blonde hair. I mean, that is a look, isn't it, eh?
Right. Sorry, Chris. We're coming to you. Diego Fabrini, a will-o'-the-wisp type of player. Did he play more at the Den or more at Vicarage Road?
Oh, I didn't even know he played for you.
Well, there are some who say, other than a goal at Reading, he possibly didn't, but that's not the point.
Purely because I didn't know he played for you, I'm going to say us. And he didn't play much for us either. I think it was a lot. Yeah. So I'll go Millwall.
I think he's.
Wow. He had 25 appearances, but really, really not many minutes, I have to say. Here we go. Hammer Buatsa. Carlos, which way are you going?
He scored an absolute screamer against Man United in that semi-final, didn't he? This is a tough one. I'll go Watford.
Yeah.
He goes Watford. It's correct. Yeah. It's correct. Justin, what are the scores now?
3-1 to Carl.
Oh no.
Now, both Chris's show and our one, there is a whole kind of follically challenged kind of theme going on. We come to Tommy Smith's little brother, Jack Smith. Who did he play more for, Chris? You guys or us?
Us.
Yeah, it's got to be.
It was 96, plays 25. He was also down at, where else did he play? He played Swindon at one point as well.
Swindon, yeah.
And Wimbledon. I remember him being at Wimbledon as well. Excellent. That's got to go back in. This is a tricky one. Come on.
Lenny. I've got a story about Lenny, which I'll tell everybody one day.
Oh, I'll go Millwall.
You've got to say, Carlos, what a return. What a return you've done.
It's a bit like when I did the stadiums. You remember when you tried to stitch me up with stadiums and I absolutely smashed it out of the park?
Yeah, the fact that you remember the time when you didn't cock it up just says all the other times you've been consigned to the bin of memory. Justin, where are we now? Where are we now? Score
4-2 to Carlos.
4-2. We turn to somebody who was sort of infamous. Matthew Briggs, the man who didn't foul when he should have done. Knockhart. Everybody doesn't foul Knockhart when they should do, because they should foul him all the time. But did he play more at Millwall or more at Watford?
Watford.
I
just knew he didn't play at all, really, for us. I'm like, he must have played more for Watford. God, I tell you, these questions, mate, I'm telling you.
I do grant you have been absolutely stitched up. You got Chris Day and Matthew Briggs. I'm not saying these aren't like Millwall royalty, but what the heck? Final one, Matthias Renegi.
Oh my God!
God, there can't be much in this one. It's got to be Millwall.
He says Millwall. He's wrong.
Got
the other way. The other way. After 5 rounds, and the penalty shootout concludes with what final score, Justin?
4-2 to Carlos.
4-2 to Carlos. Okay, well, we'll just throw these out for people who are watching. Here are the additional round in case we want it, but this is just for fun. So whoever wants to go with it, Sean Dyche.
Watford.
Yes, 72 versus 35. But how was Sean Dyche taken down at Millwall? I'd have thought as a character and as a full-blooded player, he'd have been right up everybody's alley down there.
Oh, we loved him. Absolutely loved him. As you can tell, it was only really for 1 and a little bit seasons, but we loved him. He'd be my dream Millwall manager if it could ever be made happen, but probably not. He's also my dream to interview. He's one I would love to get on the show at some point. Top bloke.
We should do that. We haven't spoken to Dyche, actually. That's what we should try.
He also sounds like he's he's eating a packet of gravel, which I like about it. And I also like the fact that whenever he's lost a job, he basically goes out on the piss somewhere near Nottingham or Northampton or wherever it is he's particularly from, and then goes to gigs. Love that. I think that's brilliant. Yeah, here we go. Guy. This is a tricky one. I'm going to turn to the Watford place because I think Chris will have an inkling about this for good or for bad. But how many games do you think Will Hoskins played for Watford, and how many do you think he played for Millwall? Let's start with Carlos.
He didn't play a lot for us. I'll go 12 for us. And
no,
more?
I would say he was with us for a very long time. Maybe
I don't think he played that. Yeah, but I don't think he played that much.
Okay, I think 12 is low, but okay.
All right,
okay.
because Justin's interrupted, I'll go 25, and I'll go. I don't know how long he was at Millwall for. 48 for Millwall.
Chris, how many games do you think Will Hoskins got at Millwall?
I reckon he got 7 at Millwall.
Oh wow!
And like 19 at Watford.
He had 60 games at Watford.
Told you.
All of those little 2-minute run-outs at the end of games, and you're absolutely right. 10 goals at Millwall. There you go. That concludes the very, very first host with the most. And unlike normal, Carl has actually won it.
I've won something. It's incredible. First game back, and I'm
well
on
done,
the score
Carl.
sheet. Thank you.
Fully deserved.
I'll have to share with everybody that the tenable result at the moment, the league table looks like this, which is the EFL 3, Justin 1. But we're going to have to put an entirely new league table together for Carl. He's going to be unbearable now, Justin.
Even more than he already is. I can't wait.
Yeah,
but that score up, Peter. There was no need to put. We didn't play untenable today, but you put the score up anyway. Thank you.
Yeah. There's a reason why people call me gratuitous. So what the heck? Never mind. Well
done, Carlos.
Carl, what a return. What a return, everybody. I think I'm quite impressed with that.
Thank you.
Hoskins,
that's why I washed my hair this evening.
Yes. I just remember Will Hoskins being around forever thinking, is this guy never going to move on? He's just getting too many run outs here and there.
I don't remember him being there that long. But like I think Pete said in that, he used to come on at the end, didn't he, for a couple of minutes here and there. And
he absolutely did,
60 games. Yeah.
You wouldn't believe it. I honestly hadn't noticed that he was doing that, but there we go. But yes, I'm still recovering, obviously, from Will Smallbone and now Jack Smith in the depleted hair.
Yeah.
But the other thing is, right? I mean, I'm not saying anything Smith family, but Tommy Smith, fine head of hair. Jack Smith,
yes,
not so much. Yeah. Just saying. Just saying, lots of bald milkmen in the bushy area. So there we go. Right, so I think it's time for us to get on to what can only be described as a triumph.
DNSYE completely rubbish prediction league.
No, God, please, no.
Yes. I thought I'd do it for you.
Yes.
Sorry.
Now we do have something that I've got to. I have to throw myself onto the mercy of the court, first of all. However, before I throw myself on the mercy of the court, I have to say, on behalf of cameraman Brett, who was very funny in the matchday vlog, thinking everybody hates him, he has yet to submit a video. This guy now.
Bring him up. Bring him up.
It means
should I bring him now?
I think on air you should ring him up and go, Brett, where is this prediction?
What a knobhead.
Bring him up.
Oh, I did send him a WhatsApp earlier on. I was looking to find out whether or not there was a penalty, but no, we're going live.
You may have to do the Davina McCall, you are live, please do not swear
Yeah, I'll
disclaimer before.
I could send him a voice note, but that'd be pointless, wouldn't it? I'll get that back tomorrow.
And do tell him that we are pushed for time.
Let's see.
No answer. He declined me.
Right. Now, normally we would throw ourselves on the mercy of the judge, and the judge would be our guest. But of course, Chris has already been and gone. So I'm having to ask you two gentlemen, does Brett, therefore, Backgammon FC, does it get a point deduction?
Yes.
Oh, it has to.
It has
He's failed in his duty to come up with a... To be fair, he may have thought, okay.
The message bubble is going, which means he's messaging.
What's
Turbo
that?
Day. Oh, that's a Donald Trump. He got lost. He's just circling.
He's just landing outside your house, is he?
Yes. Yeah. Hang on, let me just make sure there's no swear words for a Turbo Day of moving house. We're in the new place, full of boxes waiting for takeaway. All fairly hungry. Anything urgent?
Yes. Yes, there is, Brett. We're live on YouTube.
Hi, Brett. We're live on YouTube. This is a live voice note to you. We're just about to give you a points deduction in the Do Not Scratch Your Eyes. What's it called? Prediction League. That's it.
Doing this for 3 hours.
I know exactly. Yeah.
He's won it twice.
Yes, I've won it twice as well in the Prediction League. So you're getting a points deduction because you haven't sent any videos in. So I appreciate you've moved house, but stop being shit. Thank you. Bye bye.
So how's the job in the call centre going, Cole? It's going well, yeah.
Good. Yes, yeah. Customer service is my thing.
That's what we want. Okay. Well, for now, I reckon he should have a points deduction unless he comes.
He's got to have a points deduction. No, he's got to have a points deduction.
Right. So we then come to the second item that needs to have a verdict given. Now, last week, AFC Postbox submitted, and I put it forward as this: Watford 3, Blackburn 2. If you'll remember,
what is this?
This is one of the teams.
Bring him up to speed, Peter.
No. This was last week.
No, but he doesn't know what this is. So basically, we've lost the dog, right? So there's.
I know the dog's been put down. Well, sorry, not put down, but has been
put to rest. That doesn't sound right.
Removed.
That doesn't sound right either. So
the dog is retired. That's what
That's better. That's a much better phrase.
No dogs have been harmed in the making of this rubbish.
We have a postman that opens boxes, and the amount of letters in the box.
Who's the postman?
Put it back up, Peter, so he can.
Can I just point out the fact, right? Before you start dissing the postman is in the fucking league.
I know he is. Yeah, this I knew.
Let's be a little more respectful here, bearing in mind. Look who's bottom.
Oh, I know. Yes, well, Carl's back now, so that's fine.
Daddy's back now. Don't worry.
Right.
We'll sort
don't shut up yourself.
Just shut up. Let me explain. Honestly, I need to regain some level of control here. Last week, I'm going back to last week now. We had what looks like 4, but if you remember, it wasn't. It was 3 letters because there's an NHS sample. Yes, the NHS sent poo through the post. A packet of poo.
That's brilliant. I love the fact somebody's left a packet of poo there.
I will read you what Colin has sent me. Colin is the postie from Margate. Peter, we have a dilemma. In the scheme of things, not a big one, but it is one indeed. I have only just watched, key point, the Blackburn pod on YouTube. You gave Postbox prediction as 3-2 while mentioning eagle eyes, i.e., the sample, etc. Well, there were actually 3 letters in the second letterbox, which anybody would have seen. However, if I was choosing, I'd have gone 3-2. Would have been better, but I feel, for honesty's sake, and not sure if there's a place for that in the Prediction League, it should be 3-3. I feel you may have just put yourself in the table on the negative points for an administrative.
Oh.
So you can just see there is one there. Gentlemen, I have to ask you the same thing again. Is a points deduction required?
Yes, purely because we're bottom.
Well, yeah, okay, there is that, but it doesn't make a sort of difference, does it? Because Blackburn won, so he went for a Watford win. He's changing it to a draw, neither of which will change the result in any material way whatsoever. True. So I say let that one go myself.
But doesn't that mean Pete gets the points deduction? Doesn't Pete become on a minus?
Do I attract a minus a negative?
Oh, I see. You're saying
yes, because you can't count letters. Yes.
Well, no, to be fair, that looks like a 2 to me. Where's the third
There you
one?
go. I'm
really sorry, I can't see the third one. I say let it stay, personally.
excellent.
right.
In that case, we can get on to this week's. I managed to get off on a technicality there, everybody. Let's start off with AFC Postbox then. This week, Millwall 0, Watford 1. And you have no idea how much I've scoured that picture to make sure there isn't another letter hiding there somewhere, just in case. Let's get across to the Patreons, who are doing reasonably well. This week it was Mr. John Parslow, and he sent it in a way that was, well, kind of different. You'll know that John started everything with the dice, and everything is the vector between, what the biggest dice and the smallest dice. This time he's using fruit pastels.
Right, Predictions League, and this is the Patrons' prediction for Millwall versus Watford. It's Sunday, I'm totally bored, we're shit, I could do a better job, Petzolano, move over, I might as well coach the team, because you're rubbish, and I'm bored, and even the patrons are losing, so we need some help. So, packet fruit pastels, Millwall will be purple and green, Watford red and yellow differential, if that works, and I don't even know what's going to happen. Okay, oh shit, there's loads. Okay, purple and green, shit. 1. So that's Millwall, 12 minus 9 is 3. Watford, red and yellow. Oranges don't count, obviously, for obvious reasons. 10 reds, minus 3 yellows. So that's 7. So 10 minus 3. So it's Millwall 3, Watford 7. Come on, you Horns.
Well,
there you go.
Yes, enjoyed that. Lots of sugar left on your
Yeah.
tray there, John. I think you've knocked all the
Yeah.
sugar off your fruit pastels. But okay, 7-3.
So we've got
Unlikely.
we've got a
It
winner.
would be,
Watford.
yeah, it would be probably the game of the century if it ends like that. But yeah, I'm all for it. By the way,
Well, it does knock the 6-1 we were previously
does.
crowing about into a cocked hat, which might be quite something. Let's have a look. Obviously, Chris is playing on behalf of the EFL. Let's see what he thought. Chris, we're coming down to the den. What do you think the score is going to be when the Hornets visit you guys?
Purely because we have to win, and therefore we have to score the first goal. But we can't score goals, so we won't score a second. But to win, it means we can't concede. So there's the only default answer I can give you, which is we will win 1-0.
I like this. We will win because we have to. I think we've got the same
No
rationale.
other reason.
This is what happens when an unstoppable object meets an immovable, well, probably an immovable backline, knowing us, but never mind. Well, there we go. 1-0. So we've got wins, and we've got the only thing we haven't really got yet so far is draws. We don't know what Brett's going to be doing. Any response from Brett before we dock him the point?
Anything from the Stilton Meister?
No, he's not even heard
Not even
my
read
voice
it.
note.
That means you're going to have a 4-hour phone message later on. I expect.
I'm tempted the early hours of the morning to send him one about one of my favourite stand-up comedians, Jeffrey. I wasn't happy about the Ben Elton thing the other day.
Meanwhile, so we come to, and let's have another quick look at this, because the EFL last week, if you remember,
Justin, we got some work to do,
1-0. 1-0. Nobody else got a score, but at the moment, AFC Postbox and EFL are sitting on 6 points. The Patreons are on 4 points. That's a collection of people who are counting letters and basically at the moment counting fruit pastels. Backgammon FC could lose one of his 2 points that he's currently got, and you guys are sitting at the moment now on the bottom. Now, I have to say, Carl, you have won this the last 2 times, and in fact, last year you even won 2 leagues when it strangely split multiverse.
Yeah.
This is the first time where you've actually got to both agree on a single scoreline. What's going to be the score when Watford travel to Millwall?
Well, can we agree we're not going to win, Carlos? Is that that's the first step? Do you think we're going to win this or not? I think we're going to lose, but what do you think?
I've got a draw for this.
I can work with a draw. Should we see what the latest feedback.
Should we use the bookies as our?
No, I'm going to use our Twitter poll actually. So at the moment, out of 172 votes, 55% think home win, Millwall, 10% think 0-0 draw, 14% think score draw, and 21% think away win.
Yeah, I've got a score. I'm tempted with a 1-1 for this, but
I'll go with that. I'll go with a 1-1 with you. I'll join you on a 1-1.
This year, 1-1 is an allowable score. We've taken all of the things that frustrated you so much last time and changed
all
it
of the
into
things that I won previously. Now
exactly.
I've got
rip that up, threw it away.
So
1-1.
I'll go with a 1-1 as well. Yeah, we'll have 1-1.
Oh, this is excellent news because you know what it means. It means we've got Watford wins, we've got Millwall wins, and we've got a draw, which means points will be awarded. And that's a very, very fine thing indeed. Excellent stuff. Excellent stuff. Well, look at that. That's gone swimmingly. I think that was very, very good indeed. So there's nothing much left, I suppose, to talk about other than the fact that it disappointing on Elton's big day with all of the lovely shirts coming out and everybody liking the design or the look and it felt all a little bit odd with the color because especially when you're playing yellow. If it was down the far end, we lost the ball. I was going yes. Oh no. I mean no. How did you find it all?
Yeah.
Damn squib, mate. Damn squib. It's like New Year. It's like New Year when people press you to come on, it's New Year, let's go out. You think, oh, it's going to be a great night. Invariably, it isn't. And then sometimes there's nights that aren't planned that come along that are brilliant. And anything where there's forced fun, it's going to be brilliant. Elton's going to be there. Blue shirts, wonderful. Oh, we lost 1-0 to Blackburn. Yeah, for me, waste of time, really. Spend a bit more time on the training ground and less time posing as an Elton John album cover. And we might actually play a bit better than we did. But, look, take nothing away from Elton John. I love the guy, absolute legend. If you've seen the new Spinal Tap film, which I saw last night, he's superb in that film. I love Elton John, but I just think the whole occasion was a bit kind of when all is said and done, and you walk away, and you've seen a disappointing game, you've lost 1-0. Nah, not for me. Carlos, can you be more positive than that, or you?
Oh God, I shall try. Look, it was. It's obviously always great to have Elton at the ground, and I don't want to be that person that says it, but I think I said it on the vlog. He's not getting any younger, so it's always good to see him at the stadium, and it would have been lovely to see us put on a performance that day. But the shirt's lovely. It's great. I haven't personally purchased one, not because of the price, just because I haven't, and that's it. And it's very popular, I'm sure, with a lot of people, but. Yeah, it was a game of football at fairly early point of the season, which is where you want to start hitting. And we said it right at the start of this recording, your consistency, and it felt like that was more important than what was actually going on the pitch. And I think now we're now going into a game on the Monday against Millwall away, needing a win. To a degree, certainly the manager is. So, yeah, it didn't quite go down as well as I think the club wanted it to, unfortunately. So yeah, it's what it is.
It's always going to be affected by the result, and fans will always be, and we include ourselves in this. We are no more subjective or objective than anybody else. Win good, lose bad. I mean, that's obviously the first thing. But when you have a one time only kit being worn, and it's such an iconic kit, you do want it to be accompanying and being associated to an iconic game, and it certainly wasn't.
Yeah,
in fact, it was far from it, and therefore, you're right. We do look towards the Millwall game, and he does need some. He needs to get points between now and the end of the international break. Otherwise, he won't get or the beginning of the international break coming up. Otherwise, he won't be in charge thereafter. Simply, that's not being alarmist. That's not asking for it. No, at all. It's just we know what happens with this owner and his patience of wanting to get to his state aim, of challenging, of trying to be in the promotion hunt. And at the moment, we're not. We are quite well off of it, but it's very early days. So that's got to be the positive that we look at. That game coming after the international break. But of course, the international break applies to all other football teams. We're not just the only ones who it applies to. But Imran Kunda, a lot of people were saying, And can you say it's wise after the event? Well, no, because most people were surprised that he wasn't at least starting, even if you're going to take him off after 45 or 60 minutes, because that game was on Saturday and we're not playing until Monday night. You know, he can recover over the following time, but this all tends to be a lot linked to the medical team going, no, he can only have this amount of time, etc. And it seems to be that you know, their advices are really being lived by, rather than, you know, in the old days the manager would go, no, I want a result, the lad's staying on. That doesn't seem to be happening. Doesn't seem to be happening.
I think, you know, just going back to the blue shirt thing, we did some Vox Pops before the game. A lot of people wearing it. I've got to say, tons of people wearing it. Lots of people loved it. I don't think anybody had anything really bad to say about it. Most people, I think Brett was a little bit disparaging, but everybody went, no, I love it. I think it's great. So, you know, as a shirt, I think it's wonderful. I just think the actual occasion that it's been tied to is a massive letdown. And, you know, that's just one of those things. Always good to see Elton there, and Zachary and Elijah, his sons. That's always good as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
But we really do need to pull our bootstraps up and get on with this now, because, you know, that little distraction has been and gone. It's now winning games, please. Can we start doing that? And it'd be nice to see, frankly.
Absolutely.
You're swerving it this time, right?
Yes, yeah. There's only so many fractured skulls and buses you can avoid, and tables and chairs. So no, I'm going to give it a miss on the Monday. More of a, I made a silly mistake after my last issue with a Millwall game. I promised my wife, I said I'll give the Den a miss next time, and obviously at the back of my head I was like, wow, whatever, closer to the time. But she's unfortunately she's remembered, and she said, you said you're not going to the Den, so I've I've made a mistake. Is what I've done.
Well,
so,
I think you've done the right thing on this occasion.
Look, anybody that goes down there is brilliant. But me and Hemel did the when we lost 3-0. I think that was the game Louza got injured, and you know we left before the end, and it's a frigging nightmare getting down there, London Bridge, and I know midweek it's just Anyway, but look, if people are going, fair play to you. Be safe. Watch for buses in Watford as well. By the way, stay out of bus lanes.
You basically just need to be kept in a padded cell for the duration of the day.
I shouldn't leave this room. I should just stay here, and food and things come to me rather than
that seems reasonable.
Leave the room.
That seems reasonable. Well, for once, when we had a guest beforehand, we've remembered to say goodbye to Chris, but he's also got some rather interesting information. Let's just get across to Chris.
As always, very, very nice to speak to you. We will do this again at the home fixture, which will be, Peter.
I was doing the gratuitous advertising.
No. I'm happy to catch you out as well. So
it's in November. I think it's November the 19th.
Is it November the 19th? No, it's not. You're lying.
Carl, that seems a bit soon.
It's on January. It's on January the 17th.
There you go. I was close. See?
Yeah, you were close by guessing the wrong month.
Other managers may be available by that time. Who knows?
Who knows? Anyway, Chris, thank you very much for once again putting up with coming on Do Not Scratch Your Eyes. Thank you very much indeed.
I've loved it, as I always do, gents. Just a bit of feedback though. Loved the game, but would prefer some sort of animal involved. Involved.
Yeah, dog's not allowed. However, we have got a fine line in subliminal advertising.
Well, chaps, if I'm allowed to, and I don't know if you can put this in the show or whatever.
Do it.
I don't know when you're putting this out, but I am walking the Shine Walk on Saturday, the Saturday before our game. So thank you, Sky, for moving the fixture, because maybe that wouldn't have been able to happen. But yeah, everything we do at Chat with Chaps, every bit of revenue we get, we donate to cancer research, and I am raising money for cancer research Shine Walk that I'll be walking through the night on Saturday. So if anyone listens to this wants to donate,
are you walking around the back streets of Milwall on Saturday night? I mean, are you like tooled up, or are you going to be okay?
No, it's the official. It's an official cancer research event, and there's a route starts at Battersea Power Station, goes all the way throughout London through the night. I reckon I'll be finished. Hopefully, they said about 8-9 hours.
Jesus, that's a lot of walking.
Well, it's the marathon. It is essentially. It's not the same
marathon
route,
walk, isn't it? Yeah,
but it's a marathon walk. Yeah, so looking forward to that. I've always wanted to run it, but I had a knee replacement quite young, so I can't. So I'm walking it, which is the next best thing.
Yeah, fair play to you, man.
Very good.
That's a fantastic thing. I wanted to run the marathon, but unfortunately I'm fat and lazy, so never mind. But no, look at that. Chris doing this for a fantastic cause. And we will definitely get the link. We'll put it up and share it with you, because that's fantastic stuff. So well done, sir. Well done.
Nice.
There we go. Yeah, lovely fellow. It is funny doing,
really nice guy.
It is funny doing this, because you end up with I mean, Saturday was an example of, the amount of people who we all sort of met up with who wouldn't have got together had it not been for the podcast as the kind of thing that brings everyone. But we have the same thing with Opposition View podcast, and Chris is a lovely fella, really nice guy. He's doing this because basically he had a friend who passed away, having suffered with pancreatic cancer, and so he's doing that, literally a marathon at night. And I know people who've done those kind of walks at night, and it's a really difficult thing to do in the dark, just psychologically as well. So we will put a link up, and I appreciate it's not a Watford person, but frankly, cancer is not a Watford thing. It is a universal thing. Chris is a lovely guy. He's doing that. So if anybody wants to support that, we most certainly shall be doing so. So thank you very much indeed. So look, I think we're coming to an end here, aren't we? I imagine we are for an hour or so.
Yeah, I'd just like to thank everybody that does come on our reels and is good enough to stick a mic on for us to sort of go, right, we're going to ask you some questions now. They look like rabbits in the headlights.
They do make me laugh, I must admit. I even got the guy in the burger van.
He wasn't that impressed, was he? You can see he was like, "We'll put a mic on." Yeah, it's only going to be quick. Okay, and then he didn't know any Elton John songs.
We got him.
Yeah, so do check out our TikTok channel. You might see yourselves there in the background or taking part in that. We will find you at the. Is it called the Fan Zone or the Family Zone?
It's the Family Zone, but I keep calling it the Fan Zone. So yeah.
We'll be lurking around the family zone at home games. If it's raining, we might be underneath the rookery bit. And we just literally come up to anybody that we sort of recognise. Hello, put this microphone on. What are you doing? Don't worry about that. And then we ask two very random questions, and then we whack them out as reels on TikTok and on Instagram and stuff like that. So don't be afraid if you see us. Do come over and join in. It's all a bit of fun. But do check out our TikTok channel, because they seem to be going very well. Very well indeed.
We whack them out as reels. I mean, it's slightly underplays the enormous technological achievements.
To be fair, that takes maybe 3 or 4 hours on a Saturday night of editing, is what it actually is.
And then he sends them to me, and I have to post them on Instagram. There you go.
It's a joint effort, Carlos. You see, I like to.
Yeah. We're both involved. Yeah.
While you're busy doing the vlog, I like to give you some more work to do. That's how it works. It's good. It's all good. Thank you very much for joining us. Do please like, comment, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. There will be more of this sort of stuff. We're also doing our post-match spaces on here now as well. There will be one after Millwall. Stay up late, everybody, on Monday. Millwall. What did you just say, Milwall, like that, Cole? That's just very strange. So we will be doing the post-match on here and on X, as always, after the game. So please join us for that on Monday night. If you see us about on the concourse, come and say hello and join in with our reels as well. And I think that's probably it. Is it not, chaps? Anything to add? Anything? Any extra? Any other business on the agenda? No?
Any other business?
I think it's time for dinner for anybody who has not had it.
That sounds like you, Peter. Right, okay. Well, in which case, we'll see you all very, very soon. You ons!
You Louza.
You Louza.